Hey, my friend, welcome. This is Business Astrology for May of 2024. If you're an entrepreneur, small business owner, this is for you. We've been through a pretty enormous healing portal in the month of April, and there's a way that we'll be revisiting some of the depth and the transformation in May. We'll be revisiting some of what you've come through, like a revisit to some of the lessons. I'm going to give you key dates for that, and then we're going to look at what's happening with Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Neptune this coming month. This will cover what's going on with our thought and communications, our heart center, money, physical action and creation in the world, and the connection to your spiritual source and creativity and flow. Lastly, we'll go through the new and full moon cycle for this upcoming month, what to expect and how to work with the energy of this new and full moon cycle to set your intentions, plant what you want to bring forth in your business, in your creations, in your life. And let's dive in. It is a beautiful month for creating new offers. To give you the overview, some themes. It's an incredible month for new creation, downloads from the higher mind, and bringing energy into form in the physical world. So let's start off with what's going on with Mercury. And Mercury represents your communication channel. And this covers a few different areas. It's your communication channel between you and others, but also between you and you, your thoughts, your connection to your higher self, everything about how you receive and give information, everything related to ideas, teaching, and learning, ruled by Mercury. And Mercury's got a couple interesting, what we'll call meetings this month. First thing is that on May 7th, Mercury meets up with Chiron. Now, here's where we're going to backtrack to this past month, this past April, because Chiron was very involved in all of the deep healing and transformational processing that went on for so many folks through April. And of course, by the way, all of this will be the degree that each of these transits I describe impacts you will be reflected in your natal chart and your relationship of your natal chart to these transits. But this is the overview and the energy that collectively we're all going to be in. So back during the month of April, very powerful full moon, deep eclipse. Chiron was very involved in both of these. And there's a day I'm going to invite you to look back to. The first date I'm going to bring your attention to is if you look back to April 15th, because Mercury and Chiron met up while Mercury was on his retrograde journey. Chiron represents the old triggered places and where we feel the old, like, oh, and the old wounded place, and we're invited to show up from a higher consciousness. But sometimes we feel that old place as a human in a body here. So back on April 15th, Mercury, your thinking channel, met up with this place of what we'll call old woundedness, old triggeredness. And there was some kind of a connection, a meeting there between your thoughts or your communication and some kind of old triggered place. Now, here's what's interesting. Mercury was retrograde when he met up with Chiron on April 15th. So whatever you went through on that day, or like a day before, after April 14th, 15th, 16th, whatever was going on that triggered some stuff, it might not have been fully clear because Mercury was in his backwards underground journey. Here we are coming up on May 7th. Mercury is now moving forward. There's a new clarity, a new way of understanding. And from this forward moving place, he's meeting up with Chiron again at the same spot. So there may be a literal revisiting of old situations or a revisiting of whatever the energy in you that is being transformed. So that's the first date I'll invite you to look to. May 7th, look back to April 15th-ish. All of these dates have like a day or two front and back window around the energy that I'm describing. Next interesting day for communication is May 31st at the end of the month. This is when Mercury, your communication mind, meets up with Uranus, which is your higher mind, the place where the downloads come from, all of the inspiration, what you might call the original mind, where the creative ideas that come from somewhere else pour in and pour through. Uranus also brings a very unexpected energy to it. It's got a lightning bolt quality. Things suddenly can sometimes pivot on a dime. The energy might change. Unexpected events might happen. Key with Uranus transits is flexibility and being open to the inspiration, the downloads that are coming through. Uranus also rules technology, by the way. So May 31st, give or take a day, really interesting day for channeling, connecting to your higher consciousness, maybe setting aside some extra time for writing, journaling, meditating, whatever you do to connect and allow the ideas to pour through. All right, next we're going to talk about Mars. Mars represents your physical action. And as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, Mars energy is very important because it's the literal practical creation in the world. If Uranus brings in the brilliant ideas, Mars is the energy that puts them into action, that creates the thing, that goes out and builds the new business offer, whatever you're up to. So Mars is going to spend the month in fiery Aries. Aries is the sign of I am. It's a very startup energy, very powerful forward movement. This is why it's a beautiful time for creating, for picking up the tools and building what you want to build. And there is a very strong physical, vital energy coming through. Again, there will be other things in your personal chart that will influence this, but Mars overall is happy here. There's a strong energy coming through, very fiery, a lot of emotion too. The thing to be aware of can be perhaps tempers maybe flying off the handle a bit. There's a lot of powerful, strong, driven energy coming through. So keeping it all lovingly in balance, there's a lot of energy to pour into your projects at this time. Two key dates, May 3rd, Mars will sextile Pluto. This is like a visit to the underworld in a helpful way. Going into the depths, maybe seeing some of what we'd call shadow stuff that when you are willing to see it and be present with it, has more energy for you, has energy to fuel you, maybe some of those hidden parts. There might be some depths of emotion that arise, but allowing whatever is there that you might have kept a little buried or a little separate from, allowing yourself to meet the emotion, the deep stuff, the challenges. This is May 3rd, give or take a day. Mars sextiling Pluto. Allow all that energy to come through. Pluto energy is all about transformation and personal power. Next key date for Mars is May 19th, when Mars will conjunct the North Node. The North Node is moving forward, our destiny. We're looking at the collective transit of the North Node here. So Mars meeting up with the North Node is a big day for out and about, very active energy, very big day for like meetings, collaborations, stuff happening. It might feel like a lot of stimuli, especially if you're real sensitive, but it's a very a powerful collaboration energy going on. So I'll invite you to care for yourself in all the ways and lean into whatever collaborations, meetings, any energy like that that wants to happen. There's also some other big transits happening around this same day of May 19th, which I won't go deep into just for time's sake, but at the same time, we've actually got Jupiter and Uranus hanging out, and we've got, I believe, Sun and Jupiter are meeting up also on May 19th, 18th to 19th, and Uranus is meeting up with Venus. So this is a pretty explosive feeling time, a lot of energy, but for a from a perspective of developing your business and moving things forward, it's a super powerful time for collaboration and outward movement and productive connections. All right, we're going to do Venus, then Neptune, then new and full moons. Venus represents beauty, love, your heart center, money, giving and receiving. And Venus spends the first 3 weeks of the month of May in the earthy sign of Taurus. Venus is very at home here. Taurus rules the body, being in a body on a physical world. It's a sign of sensual delights and pleasure and loving the human physical experience. What you can think about during this time is opening your money channel, because Venus is an aspect of your money channel. It's the ability to give and receive love and money, energy of any kind. So it's a beautiful time of opening your ability to receive through being in nature, feeling the earth beneath your feet, grounding, absorbing goodness, getting massages, whatever you do that allows you to feel very at home and good and indulgent and relaxed in your physical body. First 3 months of May, super key for this. And again, this is key to opening your ability to flow money so much more easily and powerfully. For the last week of the month, Venus will be in Gemini, where the love language is communication. And this is a great time for messaging, reaching out to past clients, appreciating clients, notes of appreciation, grounding everything in deep appreciation. I mentioned that on May 18th and 19th, Venus conjuncts Uranus. This is a very powerful download day in a different way than when Uranus conjunct Mercury. This is like a wake-up call from your higher consciousness as received through your heart center and your ability to give and receive. Sometimes challenging and painful stuff can come to the surface with a Uranus transit that wakes us up, but it's all about waking you up to your next level of consciousness. So some kind of opening, radical deepening of the heart center, of the ability to give and receive money, love, to flow energy through you, through your heart center, through your whole being. This is May 18th and 19th. So I'll invite you to be open on those days to whatever that feels like, the download of energy that is coming through. All right, real quick, let's visit Neptune, which represents your connection to spirit, source, creativity, your deep creative flow. And what's interesting about Neptune is he's been hanging out in Pisces for a while. And Pisces, Neptune is at home in Pisces. Pisces is the domain of all is one, deep love. We're all connected, no boundaries. Neptune in Pisces is very at home. The challenge could be a potential lack of boundaries, or we want to be aware of any lack of groundedness, or of looking at things through rose-colored glasses, seeing, you know, the beautiful vision without seeing like the full picture. So there's an invitation to stay very grounded and stay very present, but also to allow the openness to that connection to flow through you, to be the formless, boundless spiritual being that you are. That's all invited when Neptune is in Pisces, and he's been hanging out in Pisces for quite a while. Here's what's interesting about May. He'll spend basically all of May at 29 degrees of Pisces, and 29 degrees is the mastery degree. So everything I was just describing, the deep connection to love, flowing all that is, connection to source, receiving, abundance, and also groundedness, clarity, boundaries. Whatever you are working with all of that I just described, there's an experience for the month of May of being like in the mastery level of working with it. So it's being called into a very high level of whatever is happening for you there. Neptune's going to hang out for a bit, and then in July, he's going to turn around and go retrograde. So he's going to take you into a deeper revisioning experience, recalibrating of whatever you are going through in that whole arena I just described. So month of May is important for noticing what's up for you. And there may be challenging things going on in anything from, let's say, expanding and connecting more. Again, the thing of maybe rose-colored glasses, staying very grounded, staying very clear, while at the same time, you allow yourself to expand and be as abundant as possible. Anything in that realm, just notice what you're working with, what you're mastering, because that's going to support you in taking it deeper when Neptune goes retrograde. And all this energy is working for you and with you. You don't have to figure out what anything is, but it can be really helpful to wrap our conscious minds around it, because that just allows our whole being to work with the energy consciously and productively. All right, so our new and full moons for this month. New moon is when our conscious awareness, represented by the sun, comes into alignment with our unconscious, represented by the moon. This is why we set intentions on the new moon. Conscious and unconscious lined up, working together on the same page. The new moon happens on May 7th. It happens in the earthy sign of Taurus, and there's a sextile with Saturn. So on the one hand, there's a very grounded energy going on here. There's also a loose conjunction with Uranus, higher mind. This opens the chute for the downloads of inspiration to come through. So this is a beautiful new mind for bringing in visions, new offers for creative spiritual work, landing them solidly, for setting intentions into motion that involve bringing your creativity and your spiritual connection into form. Then on May 23rd, we have the full moon. And this is when conscious awareness, unconscious are opposite. And the intentions we've set in the beginning of the lunar cycle come into a mini harvest and a completion of some kind, as well as a release of what doesn't serve. So this release goes pretty deep. It's in a sextile with Pluto, and it's in an opposition with Venus, who is now at the mastery 29th degree of Taurus. So there is a very deep, complete release possible here, including a release of things like old money stories and patterns is very possible. It may also be about love, being about this opposition with Venus. But there will be an opportunity for the intentions you set to go very deep and very complete in releasing what no longer serves you, so that your highest creative visions can come fully into form. All right, my friends, that is the overview for the month. Please like and share if this has been helpful, and stay tuned for more. I will see you soon.